Mm. Today is July 16th, 2021, and it is my mama's birthday. My mama's birthday. I am so thankful and so proud to be Darlene's daughter. Darlene. I just wanted to take a few moments to just talk about my mother. She is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, known, loved. Not just physically beautiful, she's beautiful on the inside, beautiful mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So proud that she's my mother. And she has lived her life in such a way that is such an example. I mean, she keeps me on my toes, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, I remember when she was, I'm trying to think, I'm almost 50. So when she was about my age now. And I remember she was rollerblading and, diving and swimming and just doing all kinds of stuff that I wasn't even doing at that time, and I was in my early 30s then. And I remember thinking, oh, you need to step your game up. Like, not in a competitive way, but it made me realize, like, that's my mother, and if I came from her, I can do those things too. Even for her to have she didn't get married until she was, 46 years old? And it's just amazing that you can still find love. I don't think she graduated from college the first time until she probably was in her 40s. She has 2 college degrees. Like, she never really talks about herself or gives herself much praise for all the things that she's accomplished. There's probably people in my own family that don't know all the things that she's accomplished. You know, like I said, she has 2 college degrees. And when she had my sister, I think she might have been 15. She had me at 19. She didn't walk with her class, as they say, but she got her GED and she kept going to school, always working hard. I think through most of my childhood, she went to school part-time, and she always worked a second job or a third job, you know, hard jobs. My mother worked hard jobs. I remember she would come home on her lunch break from Pilgrim State Hospital in Brentwood, and just to take a shower and change her clothes, because sometimes she'd be so sweaty, even her shoes were sweaty, her tennis shoes. That's another thing. She stayed wearing sneakers because she was always running somewhere. She's still like that now. I see her, I'd say probably every 2 to 3 weeks now that she's down in Georgia. And I do her hair probably every month and a half or so. But when we go shopping and stuff like that, I promise you, I'll blink and she's gone. She's quicker than me. She's gone. She's on doing something else, checking out something, figuring out something. She can fix things. My God. When I go to her different homes that she has and see tile that she's put in, cabinets, sinks, mirrors. I always knew she could paint and do stuff. My mother's the kind of woman that if the roof is leaking on her house, she don't even need a ladder. She'll jump up there and figure out how to fix it, because she's that kind of person. And I feel like the older we get, or the more mature we get, I'm not surprised what she's doing, where she's at. I remember calling her, and we'll be talking, having a conversation, and I found out at the end of the conversation, I'm like, oh, Mommy, where are you? Oh, I'm in Belize. And I'm like, what? I'm thinking it's just, or another time when she's in China or St. Thomas or Dominican Republic or just a plethora of places. She'd just be going somewhere doing something else, doing something exciting, doing something interesting. And she makes me so proud to know that the same genes that she has, I have. That same spirit and energy that's in her is in me and in my daughters. She's just amazing. And I say all this not because I think that our relationship was always sweet, because it wasn't. There were times I didn't understand her adventurous spirit and her ability to be resilient and start over again and create a life for herself that was outside of like me, my sister, and my dad and stuff like that. But now that I'm coming on 50 and I'm looking at the choices that she had to have made to separate herself to do great and amazing things that are an example and a legacy for me and my daughters and the rest of my family, I know how strong she is to have chosen herself over and over and over again to say, you know what, my children may not understand this right now, but if I can show them how to love yourself and choose happiness and joy and pleasure and all those things that make you feel good, it's not selfish. It's not selfish, and I know that those are the things that add to longevity in your life and joy. You know, we are really programmed in this world, especially as black women, that you're a good woman if you sacrifice your life for everybody around you. And that is such a way to dishonor yourself. Of course, you're supposed to love your family. Yes. Definitely, you're supposed to love your family. But if it's in a way that is empowering to everybody involved, if you are empowering people to be independent, not dependent or codependent on you, but we are interdependent, where we work together as a team that is a family unit that is respectful of each other's values, differences, struggles, have compassion for one another, then that is a healthy, harmonious unit. But if you are a woman that is, or a man, that you have gotten yourself into a role or a cycle within your family unit where you're supposed to be like Jesus Christ, and you are only going to be honored and revered because you had to die. And I say die, I don't mean physically die, because you can be dead on your feet. Die in the sense that you no longer pursue your dreams or your imagination or your creativity because other people feel more comfortable with having you in a little small box where they have access to you, just you. My understanding of love is that it is inclusive, not exclusive. Not that possessive, jealous love where that's my mother and nobody else can't, oh, that's my wife or that's my daughter. No. For me, love is expansive and it multiplies. That's why I had no difficulty sending my children out into the world. I don't need them to live down the street from me, because I know now everywhere they move, that's a new adventure for me. That's a new place for me to travel. That's a new area for me to explore, things to expand my own creativity and imagination. And I got that from my mother. She showed me that there were things bigger than the place that I grew up in. And even though she's not around as much as some people may like her to be, and some are probably used to her being gone, just like people probably used to me being gone, her love for her family's never changed. She loves her family so much. I love my family so much. And sometimes loving people is just letting them go and trusting that they'll return to you with stories about their journey, with adventures that they can share with you, with lessons that they've learned. That's what makes us grow as a family. When, to me, you know, if you can go out and come back and tell me, guess what I found out? Guess where I went? And then I tell you where I went and what I did and what I learned and what you learned. And then the whole becomes greater You know, we become greater. And I love that about my mother, that she is a possibility thinker. She is somebody that can make something out of nothing. Very resilient, resourceful, and just absolutely phenomenal woman. And I say all this, and my mother's not even on social media. But Darlene Day Gant, my mother, is an absolutely amazing, amazing woman. And today's her birthday. And I could go on and say even more about her, but she is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love you, Mommy. You already know that. But thank you for being a wonderful example of what it means to love yourself so you can love others, and giving out of the overflow. Thank you for not depleting yourself for me. Thank you for not enabling me to stay small. Thank you for showing me that I'm supposed to be big and great.